Right, let's play a little bit of Dawntrail. Yesterday I've finished the Hanu village. Got the first accomplishment for Wuklamat in her pocket. She helped to regrow the dying crops for that village. And today I suppose we're just gonna go the other direction that you actually had a choice to go where. I don't remember that being in Endwalker that you could choose which route to go first. Come on, let's keep things moving and march onwards to Urkopacha. Chances are good we'll find an elector there as well. Before we do anything, however, we should see what your opportunistic fellow friend has to say. I've been waiting for what feels like days, and eaten enough of Brukevu's tacos to feed an army. What is it you'd like to know? Our main concern was confirming the state of the road ahead. As I recall, to reach Urkopacha we depart from the Arc of the Dawn, then take the road west to the first fork. Should we be wary of anything along the way? That is indeed the way to Urkopacha. After the damage wrought by the recent downpour, however, you'll be doing more stumbling than walking. But do take heart, when it comes to rugged terrain, we have a most dependable solution available. Come with me. Game, you know? Yeah, it definitely feels that more people came to the YOLO after the actual launch of the game. Or they finally leveled their characters. Maybe Vipers, I don't know. Feels more filled up than when I played on the weekend. Oh my, are these fluffy babies our mounts? Oh, we're gonna touch some alpacas? The pillow being small is confusing enough, but those masks make it almost impossible to tell man from woman, let alone guess at their age. It kinda reminds me of a certain someone. The Lala falls from Norvrand. From Shadowbringers. The beasts are sure-footed, that's for sure. That's for certain. Talking to Apollo before we departed was a wise decision. I for one would rather not brave a treacherous slippery trail on foot. Why did we have to be alpacas? She mentioned them previously. Something about that we're gonna learn. I introduce you to our... Wait. There's more options. Wait a minute. Apply to voice dialogue only. Yes. So they feel much the same niche as our chocobos back home. Llamas, hi Courtney, yeah. You don't have alpacas in Yorze? Alpacas are native to Yoctoral. Yorze has its chocobos, and the eastern lands have their horses. Why go to the trouble of breeding another pack beast in a place which ill suits its qualities and where it is not needed anyway? But must we ride these little monsters? I get the impression you aren't fond of alpacas. When I was small, being a bit naughty, I went around pulling on their wool. One of them spat on me, and it was the foulest stench you can imagine. I see. What are they like to ride? Alpacas bred as mounts are inquisitive and docile. Even those without experience find them easy to handle. Sparrow can tell a different story. Well, really doing this then. So was my information useful to you? Yes, very helpful, even if it wasn't what I wanted to hear. Good, I'll take my payment now. Man, I feel like their village is definitely the Lalas of this continent. Already begging for gold. You want me to pay you? I guess I should have expected as much from a Pelu merchant. Let me see what I have on me. The Pelu value the act of spreading joy through trade. As you should know, they take pride in making deals that benefit both parties. Oh, that's how nice of them. Here you go, a fair price for your fair advice. Yes, I made a trade with the third provincial self. My friends will never believe this. I shall be on my way now. I wish you safe travels. Off we go then, and thank you. I better not get spit on again. You brought that on yourself. Remain calm and gentle, so will they. I'm still not happy about this, but if we need to ride alpacas to each Urkopacha, then that's what we'll do.
Turali poets of yore sang of a mountain that would stand tall, even should all other lands sink beneath the sea. Indomitable and eternal, it arises from Urkopacha, the 100 peaks.
I got lucky with the weather, because weather is dynamic. I've seen some scenes where people had like basically fog everywhere.
Could hope to disturb the summit's serene majesty. Yet, with that flying calamity imprisoned by the Dawn Serpent, what great feat remains for those who would claim the throne?
So this is Urkopacha. I've never actually been here before.
The air is so crisp and clear.
Mountains everywhere you look.
That one massive peak in particular has quite the presence. It puts me in mind of Som-Al.
That is Workor Sormor, the tallest mountain in Yogg-Tural. Its sheer height makes it an imposing climb. But there are other reasons the ambitious keep their distance.
Oh? Do tell.
Where to begin?
Excuse me, but you're Wook Lamat, are you not? I hadn't thought to encounter one of the Dawn's promise here, of all places.
It's one of theirs?
But I should introduce myself. I am Bol Nok, a weaver by trade.
Well met, Bolnok. We're on our way to Wachunpelo.
Oh, truly, I've just come from there, as it happens. I'd asked the Pelu who sell me their wool to give me a tour of their alpaca ranch. The head rancher and I shared a bottle of mezcal while he explained the finer points of wool production.
Mezcal, is that a local beverage?
It's an Urkopacha specialty. A spirit made from distilled agave heart juice.
Yes, and it must have done wonders for my mood, for I tripled my usual order of alpaca wool. They did offer me a discount, though, so it wasn't a bad deal in the end. But listen to me, boring you with my tedious stories. I will leave you before you are lulled to sleep. Goodbye, and safe travels. Oh, silly me. I almost forgot to say the thing I actually wanted to say. Peace for Tural. I agree with your vision, Third Promise. You have my support in your bid for the throne.
I gather from his tale we would be foolish to underestimate Pelu Pelu merchants.
They'll probably try and scam us.
They do more than run the markets in Tuliyola. Pelu Pelu peddlers can be found everywhere in Tural, traveling from place to place on their sturdy alpacas. They are effusive and engaging speakers, and many's the customer who's been talked into spending more than they bargained for.
They won't find this customer so easily charmed.
Watching Pelos down the path! Off the main road! Don't get lost!
It's right there.
Alright, let's begin. Let's find the nearest other current. 207 yams to where? Southwest. Hi Alice. Look at that beautifully rendered cactus. What? I have to hunt alpacas? It has the symbol. Why? It seems kind of cruel, but alright. I guess so. A mark is a mark, right? Must be some kind of sick joke from developers. The first thing you do is you hunt alpacas. I'm gonna make a... They disappear so quickly, I didn't make it. I ran that thing 10 times yesterday, the caster top wouldn't drop. You gotta... Usually what works is actually trying with a different role. At least for me. I was trying to get some, get a helmet from Shadowbringer dungeon. It just didn't drop. It didn't drop. And I tried with a tank instead of Reaper. I think the second dungeon it dropped. Sometimes it's just easier to acquire some of those parts on a different role. So, current. Those alpacas distracted me from my actual quest. There it is. I like the vibe of the zone. I probably just prefer more of the, you know, mountainy areas like this than forests and jungles. Oh. I got the mount today that you can get from Twitch drops. Here it is. If you didn't get it yet, this is how it looks. It's just a jumping ball of fur. Could see more buildings down the path Bolnock was taking. I wonder what's over that way. You know what I wonder? Will they ever change their models of Elfin and LSA? Will they actually grow up during the course of next, maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 expansions? I feel the change in altitude most keenly. While mayhap not the same degree as the Sea of Clouds, the air is decidedly thin here. I don't know. It's gonna lead us, I guess. This is Wachinpelo, home of the Pelu Pelu. Buklamat should have arrived before us. That's not good. I love that they added ability to automatically swap how the text works. So if the text doesn't have a voiceover, it automatically stops auto playing. If it has audio, it auto plays. And I heard some people actually said there's a bug. Sometimes the audio bugs out for some people for some reason, that they lose actual voice acting. And that way you can actually catch it. If the scene will have automatic thing enabled and there's no voiceover, you probably have a bug and should restart the game if that happens. What's my Discord? It's probably a link on Twitch. Or you can probably type ! Discord. It might show up. I don't remember if I updated the link or not. You've come all this way for the right of succession. Oh, so this means I'm exchanging words with the future Dawn Servant. Please, the outcome is far from decided, but it is a possibility. How fortunate then, the deal in cloaks woven from the especially luxurious alpaca wool. Such a garment would look magnificent when draped over the shoulders of our budding ruler. A nation's ruler should dress her best for her adoring people, yes? Finery for our finest lady. That's right. Come, third promise. May well stocked shelves are but a few steps away. Finest lady? I like the sound of that. Alright, I suppose a quick look wouldn't hurt. What did we just talk about? I don't know. When did you... Chitona from far off Zakturel? Northern winters are bitterly cold affairs, I'm told. I cannot imagine how you survive them without a lovely warm cloak of quality alpaca wool. No, thank you. I'm not in need of new clothes at the moment. And neither is the third promise. Perhaps another time. Of course, of course. My shop door is always open. You were saying something about not being easily charmed? I was just... As I mentioned previously, the Pelu people live for bringing happiness through trade. They won't cheat you or sell you defective goods. They will, however, disarm you with their deft turns of phrase, and unwitting customers like Uklamat fall prey to this affable approach time and time again. Your only recourse is clear and firm refusal. They won't pursue the matter should you make your disinterest plain. It's almost like the telephone operators that try to sell you shit that you don't need. A valuable insight into the minds of Pelu Pelu. Let us all take Aranvil's words of caution to heart. Woklamat is lucky to have Arendelle. Everyone in royalty especially needs a friend unafraid to chide them when the need arises. All these houses and buildings make to Pelu size, and mine too, come to think of it. I swear, I'll let her out of my sight for one moment. It would seem that Pelu are also partial to coffee. Coffee enjoyers, Not my finest moment, I'll admit, but now that we're here, let's do what we came to do. Find the Elector. Allow me to propose a strategy. Then, Kryl, Alice and I will speak with merchants who Klamat, you and Arendelle might try approaching travelers and passerby. Imagine, pre-investigate any of the other establishments which catch your eye. Should we learn aught of use, let us relay it to the third promise. The Dawntrail Selector? I thought you were a new face in town, here for the right of succession. I take it? Me, I don't much care who sits the throne, so long as they keep Toral peaceful. People tend not to be in the mood to relax and sip our excellent mezcal, once arrows and spears start flying, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's bad for business, basically. Speaking of which, would you like a cup? A joy shared is a joy doubled, I say. Alright, yes, you were asking about the Elector business. Being but freshly returned from my trading route, I've heard that there's a contest afoot, but not much else. Our head ledger Tobley could probably tell you more about it. Welcome. If it's an alpaca, we need the loot. Okay, I've read it. It's probably the same. Electors? Oh yes, I've heard all about the right of succession. They're looking to put a new ruler on the throne, eh? Personally, I'm rooting for Zerl. If the first promise wins, he'll look to expand our sphere of influence. That means access to more resources and more customers. In the thousands column potentially. So many new trading opportunities to spread happiness far and wide. Others have been coming around to my own way of thinking, so I began crafting goods inspired by the resilient sun. Would you care to purchase something? We have to be stern with them. Very well, you said you wanted to know about the Elector. I could help you, but I won't. I can tell you you're no supporter of Zerl or his policies. We have this. Okay. Political games. Hello there. I'm Mablu. Do you have a question for me? Sorry, I don't know about any electors. You should take a moment to see our prized alpacas before you leave, though. Oh, but be sure to admire them from a respectable distance. Get too close and our nervous darlings may be tempted to spit on you, and that stuff stings. No one makes a mistake without Tobley noticing. He knows everything that happens on this ranch. So she probably answered what we needed. This guy Tobley is the fella that we need. You really have to watch yourself around these silver-tongued paddlers. I almost bought a bottle of mezcal and a stack of blankets, and then there was this enchanting ornament. Anyway, I did manage to learn that Tobley is the man to talk about the contest. Not only if they share where this head ledger of theirs is to be found. Really? He's also the head rancher? Well, the alpaca ranch is not far from here. I say we pay it a visit before the others return. That is a lot of alpacas. Still, we know the head ledger could be here somewhere. I can't let fear deter me. Not to say that I'm scared, of course. It's probably her in the pink. Excuse me, is one of these workers Tobley? Tobley? Oh no, it's not. Oh yes, he likes to mingle with the ranch hands and keep an eye on things. I can't tell you which one he is, though. You can't? Is this part of the contest? All I can say is that Tobley often mentions his favorite pungent subject. He also can't resist a profitable trade. So it's just a test, I guess. They're playing with us. Though who among us could, am I right? Wait, what? Though who among us could? Am I right? Still, if you bring him a very good deal, he might let his identity slip. So it's like a game. Easy enough. All I have to do is offer Tobley a deal he can't ignore. No problem at all. No problem at all. Well, maybe one problem. I don't think my purse is deep enough to pay everyone we think might be a Tobley. Let's ask some questions first to narrow down the field. Great, we can meet back here to share our impressions. Well, obviously I'm not Tobley. I mean, oops, I shouldn't have said that. You're meant to find out for yourself who Tobley is, or if an elector is even in the village at all. Good luck. Damn it. No help. Visitor from across the South, if not, I'm not mistaken. Be warned, the alpacas will spit him. I've heard it. I've heard it. Can she actually spit on you? It would be funny if you click on them enough, they would do some kind of emote and knock you on the ground. Why are they all flying around that crystal there? Huh. You think I might be Toby? Well, maybe I am. All I will say is that in this village none have reared more alpacas than I. Am I Tobley? Yes, that's me. Excellent work from the Third Promise and her entourage. Sharp instincts. Shall we commence the rite of succession then? I see we're both done with our interrogations. So, who do you think it is? I have my suspicions, but let's hear your pick. Oh no. I forgot the name of the second one. The one that probably heard more alpacas was the guy. Nothing would make me happier than knowing your identity. So how about we make a deal and you tell me the truth. I have money. Then I agree to your trade. Done and done. As for my part of the bargain, I'm not Tobley, not the head ledger, and not the head rancher, just a humble ranch hand. You're not him? Damn it, imagine I trusted you. The coin could have bought me 300 gourmet tacos. No, I can't let this taco tragedy distract me from what matters most. We need to determine which one is Tobley. Okay. She's gonna be broke after this. He seemed unconvincing to me, but if it's your choice, then that's who we'll talk to. Tobley, I offer you a deal. The truth of who you are in exchange for a tidy sum. What do you say? I say hand over the coin. The truth is, I'm not even a ranch hand. I just like to come by and watch the alpacas. Something tells me all of the choices would have been wrong. The work is so intent on stable chores. I had my eye on that one too. Time to rip the mask off our Mr. Ranch hand, so to speak. We know it's you, Tobley, and to prove it, I propose a deal. Generous sum of coin for confirmation of your true identity. An offer I gladly accept. As you have correctly guessed, oh man, you probably could actually guess it from the first time. As you have correctly guessed, I'm indeed Tobley, head ledger of Watch and Pello, and head ranger of the family ranch. I'm also one of the good old judge's chosen electors. And place featured in Tuliolal saga, just as we thought. Though it took more coin than I would have liked to know for certain. She found you out fair and square, Tobley. And I'm glad she did. Would have been a pity had her bit ended here.
Deducing the Dawnservant's elector was the first step of the feat. Too simple a task for this aspiring ruler, eh?
Right. Not hard at all.
The first promise came.
Zorolja.
I am told the head ledger, Tobley, is to be found here.
You have to guess which one of us is Tobley. That's part of the test.
She's gonna rip the head? Fear, of course.
You're Tobley.
Without even asking a single question. Very impressive indeed. With that amusing prologue out of the way, we can proceed to the actual challenge. Per the Dawn Servant's instructions, I was free to devise any manner of feat. I considered the number of possibilities in the 10th column. But I think I have a good one. You must go forth and capture for me an alpaca.
While I've not had the best experiences with alpacas, aren't they generally docile creatures? That doesn't sound like much of a challenge.
Bring out the example! This is a special kind of alpaca. Would you please approach the animal, Third Promise?
Who? Me? Well, it should stay calm if I stay calm, right? That's what Erinville said. Ah! The little monster spat on me! Oh, that stinks. I can't.
She just checked out. I guess I'll have to do this.
Creatures, being both extremely curious and extremely cowardly. Press your luck when they're frightened, and you'll get a face full of spit. As you've all just witnessed.
I love how Tobley's voice is, you know.
Has an awful stench.
He has so much with it. He has so much fun with this.
Digested food, you see, making it an effective deterrent against perceived threats.
Wild valley breed like this one are especially timid and can therefore be quick to lash out. They're also especially hardy.
Indeed. We take the rugged wild alpacas and breed them with our gentle domesticated stock. This produces the strong but biddable pack animals prized by our traveling merchants.
That's all well and good, but did I need to bathe an alpaca spit for you to make your point?
So, the task is to catch a wild alpaca.
That is correct. But be warned that it is a feat easier said than done. I suggest you prepare well before you enter the valley where the creatures dwell. And by you, I mean the claimants only. Allies are not permitted to assist with the catching.
Oh. What am I gonna do then? Cheer up?
The alpacas will help me judge which of you is worthy of receiving a keystone.
So I'm to chase down a fluffy, spitting demon, and that somehow proves I'm fit to rule?
As I said, the Dawn Servant granted me the freedom to decide my challenge. And when you reach the end of the ride, I dare say you will understand why I chose what I chose.
Very well. This won't take long.
Wait! Didn't I warn you this was easier said than done? There are preparations to be made, factors to consider.
A beast is a beast. All yield to strength.
So far, this experience has done absolutely nothing to improve my opinion of alpacas.
Oh my god. That scared the shit out of me.
But that doesn't mean I can't do this. Revolting spit aside, they're just another animal.
Are you all right, Orclamat? We thought we heard you scream.
The third promise does not scream. It was more of a startled yelp.
Scream, in other words.
Did you find the Elector?
Oh, we certainly did.
Judging by the volume of Orclamat's scream, alpaca expectoration must have a nasty odor. Indeed, I'm content to remain ignorant of the smell. Zeralja puts me in mind of Garlemold's own exalted son. Of two, though, Xenos was undeniably more arrogant. So this is our sought-after Elector. I did say remaining calm was key, but the same rules don't apply to wild alpacas. I had to go and wash the nasty stuff off my face. I think I got it all off. But would you mind taking a sniff for me, just to make sure? The stench has ruined my sense of smell. So, can you still smell it? She keeps on going. As Orclamat helped demonstrate, the valley alpaca are wary of people. Getting close enough to catch one will not be an easy task. You might have warned me about that earlier. I have enough trouble with tame alpacas. How do you expect me to wrangle a wild one? With the proper saddle, we infuse the leather with a relaxing scent that soothes the spitting beast. Wonderful, give me one of those then. Only for a special price. Have you perhaps forgotten we're a clan of merchants? If you want a taming saddle, then you'll need to find a saddler and make them an offer. They don't come cheap, of course. Crafting a saddle will cost you the equivalent of 10 pal in the thousands column. You mean 10,000 pal? I don't have that kind of coin. Converting to gil, that comes to around 1 million or so. Mayhap if we're all patient. No, this is my feat to accomplish. I wouldn't feel right about having others pay the cost. I'll fund the money, somehow. In that case... that basket of wool is worth the sum you paid me earlier. 1 pal in hundreds column. Beginning with the wool, you can trade for ever more valuable goods until you have something suitable to bargain with for the saddle. That's a nice gesture, but you think I can turn 100 pal into 1 million? That's 10,000 times more. We need 10,000 pal, not 1 million, so we're looking at 100 times more. Oh right, I panicked and got it confused with Alphina's million gil. I'm not sure about this trading idea. You were almost talked into buying a cloak. You didn't need mere moments after you arrived. But I hate it when you're right. Then let me help you with your deal making. Oh, hello again. Mablo, I work here as a ranch hand, but I also learned a lot about paddler profession. It's alright if I aid them now, yes? I guided the claimants toward the first step of the feat, like you said. It's an opposition. As long as Buklamat goes alone to capture her alpaca, she's free to accept assistance from whomever she likes. Let's see about getting you that saddle then, Third Promise. I don't know why you made your offer, but I could use an ally with a beak for bargains. Welcome aboard, Mablo. Should the rest of us stay behind, perhaps? It may be easier to haggle over prices without so many voices chiming in. Yeah, stay here and pitch in with the ranch work. With Mabel gone, I'll need extra hands to tend to the alpacas. Gladly. Although imagine I think you should go with Lukalmat. You've seen markets and bazaars the world over, and truly have sage advice to share. In that case, you should also hold on to alpaca wool. If it's misplaced or soiled in some way, you'll have nothing to bargain with. As if I'd do such a thing, but I'll leave the wool with Magin anyway. The better to keep my hands free. To begin, I suggest we try trading the wool to Havli, the saddler. He won't agree to the deal, of course, but it'll give us an idea of how much he'll accept for his wares. Is it really possible to make 100 times what the wool is worth just through trading? This is the artisan who makes our taming saddles. Lovely. Something I can do for you? I've come to bargain. I need one of your special taming saddles to catch a wild alpaca. A saddle, is it? And how will you be paying for it? With this basket of fine alpaca wool. What use does a saddle maker have for wool? Besides, this would barely cover the cost of single strap buckle. Offer me something I actually want. And what might that be? Mezcal. I like to nurse a cup at day's end while I inspect my finished work. Bring me a jug of quality stuff and you've got yourself a deal. This bodes well for us, Third Promise. Such mezcal can be had for only 5 pel and 1000 scullum. Hold on. Did you say, Third Promise? That my offer has changed. The saddle is going to cost you a jug of premium mezcal. Aged 3 years at least. Oh shit. 3 years? That stuff is valued at 10,000 pel or more. Why have you doubled the price? Because I must support the man of ambition who will see my business prosper. Zerl Jah will go to war and his cavalry will need saddles. Lots of saddles. It's nothing personal to Third Promise, but I won't sell you my craft for anything less than my asking price. What an asshole. I already dislike this village. Can't say that I blame him. I've known for championing peace, and peace is unlikely to bring him more customers. Those of our grandparents' generation remember the dark days when the clans were at war. Many of these Pelu pray for your victory, Vuklamat. The younger ones, though, to them strife and bloodshed are as children's stories. They think themselves safe from these horrors and take the peace we now enjoy for granted. Still others are unsatisfied with this quiet prosperity and crave the future the second promise envisions. They become obsessed with innovations like the dirigibles that have made trade swift and easy. Then you have those like Havli and convinced that the first promise plans for conquest will afford them opportunities for great profit. But what about you, Mabu? Aren't you of the younger generation? At least a year or two younger than me, I'd say? I was raised on the old tales. I've memorized the accounts of what it was like when the Yokui ruled our village. That's why I offered to help. I want you to become Dawntrail to keep our nation from going back to the way it was. Well then, I guess I'd better make sure I win the contest. But the type of mezcal the saddle maker wants is so very expensive. Weren't we expected to need 10,000 pel for the outset? Nothing's changed, we just need to get on with it. I may not have a head for trade or stomach for alpacas, but I won't give up with the piece of Tuliolal on the line. Then neither will I. We'll make you Dawn servant. Aiming for that 10,000 pel jock right away will only bring us failure and frustration. So let's first try exchanging the wool for anything even a touch more valuable. The trick is to find someone who needs alpaca wool and is willing to trade at loss to acquire it. Someone who supports your bid for the throne, for instance. Oh yeah, that fella. Of course, the weaver. Paul Nock was his name, I believe. He went out of his way to say he agreed with my vision and he was here to buy a wool. I think I remember the direction he was going, but for now let's head back to that road where we first met him. This is the spot. After Mol Nog talked to us, he walked off to the south. Then he was probably going to Ikuvlo's Inn. Most visitors to Wachun Pelu end up staying there. Let's go and check, shall we? It's probably that hut. There's some ruins on the ridge. Can I have the basket medicine? Thanks. Now let's see if we can turn a profit. Paul Nock, I'm glad we found you. Are you interested in making a trade? Third promise, you wish to do business with me? Might I ask what is this all about? I see. So the goal is to turn the basket of wool into a jug of 3-year-old premium mezcal. Then allow me to invest in your efforts. Peace and trial is what allows me to cross freely into the lands of my suppliers. Naturally, I would prefer that one pledged to preserve the peace with the throne. Thus do I humbly offer you this wool poncho, a small token that I pray contributes to your victory. Oh, that's fine craftsmanship. A garment like that would easily fetch 5 pel in the 100's column. That's very generous, Bolnock. Thank you. I promise I won't let you down. I have every faith in you, Todd Promise. May fortune bless your future dealings. I can't believe you quintupled your investment with your first deal. We're off to a spectacular start. Only because Magin remembered our beaver friend. All I did was hand over the wool. That's not true. The connection you built with people are vital. This is one of the most fundamental precepts of trading. One which you've instinctively mastered. You think so? I know so. Now let's take our 500 pel poncho and trade it for something even more valuable. Here, imagine, you take the poncho. If I lost it somehow, Aramil would never let me hear the end of it. All set? Our next deal is waiting to be found. What? They actually made a unique UI notification for the quest. Leveraging connections is a sound strategy, but we should also consider supply and demand. An individual in urgent need of good poncho will offer more than a merchant simply looking to stock his shelves. That makes sense, but how do we know if someone needs a poncho? They have a fabulous sense of style. It's a nice, sturdy poncho, but the design is traditional. I don't think fashion is part of its appeal. So only those people with a practical need would be interested. Well, the people that had them. Wait, that's the obvious answer, isn't it? We look for a person without a poncho and hope they're eager to buy ours. Yes, there you go. We'll find the demand for our supply. So, where should we begin our search for prospective buyers? There are any number of places, but we could do worse than starting right here at the inn. There might be interested travelers. Who here needs a poncho? A lot of Mamulja hardly wear anything to begin with. Those are probably Landsguard or sellswords. Mamulja who soldier for a living prefer not to wear much above the waist. It hampers their movement. So even if they have bared shoulders, Mamulja carrying arms can be struck off the list. The Mamulja is armed. Could be a Doppler courier? I've seen them flying their wyverns, and those types aren't fond of excessive clothing either. This one's already fully dressed. An artisan or peddler, perhaps? Come to rest after visiting Wachinpelo, like Bolnock, would be my guess. Maybe this one. Let's see, no coat or cloak, but also no weapon. Oh, we might have a winner. Oh there, friend. You're not a mercenary by trade, right? I was curious about your bold choice of dress, or lack thereof. Oh, it was no choice of mine, believe me. I was attacked by beasts on the way here, and barely escaped with my scales intact. My coat was not so lucky. I'm actually a toolmaker from Tuliolol and was dressed quite smartly, all the better to show the Pelu I am a man who takes pride in his appearance, and therefore his work as well. But now, look at me. Well, sir, this is your lucky day. What a splendid poncho. This would be a perfect replacement for the coat I lost. Would be willing to part with it if you'd like to make a trade. For one of your fine tools, perhaps. What about this hatchet? I crafted it myself and will vouch for its quality. The blade looks sharp, the haft well made. I'd value it at 1 pel in 1,000 column. We're getting there. From a 500 to 1,000, we have a deal. Wonderful. A fine garment such as this should put me on even footing with any Pelu merchant. Like the eponymous owner of Miplu's Mate Garden, for one. Her fields hands use hatchets to harvest the mate, and I thought to impress her with that tool I sold you. No matter, I have other wares to sell. Glad I am to have met you, man. I can't read today. Or ever. Did you hear that? We've already found our next buyer. To Miplu's Mate Garden we go. Yes, but it's fair distant on foot. We should take alpacas. These ones will be the calm type, right? Well done recognizing the toolmaker's potential customer. If you have a mind to change professions, you'd make an excellent merchant. Before we get moving, you should be the one to hold this. With that, I suppose we should hop on the alpaca's mablu as so kindly provided. They seem to be a bit small for my size, but I guess okay. That's a good shot. That's a good shot. I swear that mountain is too tall to be real. I have a feeling that there's gonna be some kind of dungeon in there. Warcore Thormor wasn't a forbidding sight, isn't it? One of I've never appreciated up close. You have to take the long way around the cliffs to get there, to the highlands belonging to the Yokui. to the giant, right? Mm-hmm. So Mablu, you said you were learning about the peddler profession. You don't care for ranch work? No, I love it. I love working with alpacas. But becoming a peddler has always been a dream of mine. It's just, I'm not sure I have the talent for it. If I can help you buy this the taming saddle, though, then I'd be proof that I can do this after all. In that case, you'd best get ready to be a merchant. Look, we're almost there. We made it, and without a single smelly incident. I sent the alpacas back to XIV's inn, so we'll walk along the main road when we return to the village. Speaking of the roads to travel, you were adopted by the Dawn servant, weren't you, Third Promise? That I was. Then perhaps you understand I was an orphan too, you see? Dobley took me in. He took in all the ranch hands, actually. All of them? Yes, and everyone works hard at their chores, grateful for the opportunity to repay the head ledger's generosity. Yet here I am, the only one wanting to go off and be a merchant. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm telling you this. We need to keep trading things for your saddle if you're to prepare for the feat of gold. As it's made harvesting season, they can't have too many quality hatches. Add to that Wulklamat's way of people, and we should have no trouble making a favorable deal. That's Meeple herself over there. Pass the hatchet to the Third Promise and let's get to the bargaining. You have that little axe for me? Thanks. Now to see what we can get for it. You're Meeple, the owner of these fields. I have a mind to trade, if you're interested. Well, the Third Promise. I might be convinced to entertain a proposal. What do you have on offer? This hatchet, forged by a seasoned artisan. The razor edge of this exceptional tool will make light work of your crops. The quality is acceptable, I suppose. I offer you a large sack of mate leaves in exchange. A sack of mate leaves is valued at 1 pel in 1,000 column, the same price as the hatchet. This deal would bring us no closer to the mezcal. If I may, Mr. Meeple, it's harvesting season, is it not? Does not the demand for hatchets afford them a higher value? It is indeed the season, which is why I procured an ample batch of tools well in advance. We've missed the window for demand. In that case, we'll have to fall back on the connections. Think of it this way, a generous deal here will put you in the Third Promise's good grace. Surely that's worth a consideration? I do not wish to give offense, but I must tell you that I stand with the Second Promise. His innovations will improve every aspect of our lives. So she's with Quana. I believe including farming, and I will no longer have need of hatchets. I assure you that I have nothing but respect for Wulklamat. That is why I am prepared to purchase a spare hatchet at a fair price. I suppose it is fair given your reasons, but we ourselves would be no better off for the transaction. How about this then? If we were to help bring in your harvest, would you give us a better deal? As a matter of fact, I would. Until Quanda's reforms come about, I can always use more hands in the fields. Oh my god, more gardening. Okay, we're going gathering. Off to the fields then, and mind you pick the healthy leaves. I'll take 5 good bundles from each of you. I kind of feel that they should have added a little bit more grass in those scenes here. Just a little bit more. Looks a bit flat. Looks a bit flat. Like here, at least this amount. Make the scene a lot better. You brought me some leaves then. An acceptable harvest. We'll see how your companions fared before I make any decisions though. Here, we brought our share as well. Thank you for the promise. This is more than enough to hold up your end of the bargain. Now it's time to honor mine, after adding the value of your labor to the price of the hatchet. I'm prepared to offer you a full sack of our highest grade made leaves. Premium made. Bought at the shop. One sack of those leaves would cost no less than 5 pel and 1000 column. Then we can bid farewell to this hatchet. I'll give it a good home. Talk of the contest aside, I'm glad we could come to a mutual agreeable trade. As am I. All the best with the rest of your harvest. My blue was wrong. So I guess the first zone that we visited, the Han village, deals with loss. This kind of deals with attachment as a theme, at least this first questline. I can't after getting a taste of real trading. I want to be a merchant more than ever. Okay, got it. I seek to follow in my father's footsteps, but not because he expects it from me. I want to preserve the realm's peace, and becoming Dawn Sovereign happens to be the best way to do it. You should live a life of your own choosing, and wouldn't be surprised if Tobley held the same opinion, so talk to him. Right, it's better to find out for sure than worry over what he might say. Thank you for advice. First we have a saddle to buy. I want that success under my belt so I can be sure of my decision. I like the rock texture. This is looks, at least from the distance, it looks very good. What's next then? We'll try to trade our tea leaves for something halfway to 10,000 pel. No, I think we're actually close enough. I say we go straight for the premium mezcal. Bargain our way into double the value, eh? Think you can do it? Trust me, I'll make this trade work. I admire you, Third Promise. That you're holding your own against such a strong competition for the throne is inspiring. I'm really holding my own against Kuana and Zolja. I mean, of course I am. Alright, I'm gonna wrap it up here for today.